next presentation is by a home cook and sous vide enthusiast who loves helping people get in the kitchen with tips and tricks along the way so they can confidently say, I can cook that. So please help me welcome Chef Stef from I Can Cook That.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Stef from I Can Cook That, and today I want to talk to you about sous vide duck confit a couple ways. But first of all, I really just want to take a second out for allowing me to spend some sous vide time with you, and to the International Sous Vide Association for allowing me this great opportunity with the summit. So super excited to get started. I'm gonna, for demo purposes, just show you one of the duck legs, but I have really 4 that I'm gonna do. These are Pekin duck legs from D'Artagnan. I try and get as much from D'Artagnan as I can because I think their meat is just top notch. So super simple. If you've seen my cooking before, you know that I really do things very simply, which is what we're gonna do here today, but really you can make it your own. We have 4 different seasonings, actually 5. This is fresh ground pepper that I actually spun through a grinder because I like it a little finer for this presentation. This is ground mustard, kosher salt, and this is actually a mix of regular oregano and Mexican. Regular oregano does more of Italian flavoring, Mediterranean flavoring, whereas the Mexican oregano is more of lemon, citrus, and a little bit of licorice. So I think that actually works really well with duck. I am going to put a bay leaf in. You can really make this your own though. You can do it with tarragon. Tarragon works great with duck, coriander, whatever you want, star anise. These are just my go-to spices because I always have them. So what I usually do, I also have some thyme here that I'm gonna stick in the bag along with the bay leaf, but we'll get to that in a second. So again, really simple technique here. Obviously you have one side that has less skin. I know a lot of people, when they make duck, they think that you have to salt it and let it sit for 24 hours. I never do that. I think with this method, it works really, really nicely. I'm all about simple, set it and forget it. So what I'm gonna show you first is how I do the backside. And there's a reason that I wanna talk about the backside, because this is my bay leaf, by the way. I always put my bay leaf or any of my herbs on the backside so I don't dent the presentation side, and it's hopefully a beautiful presentation. The other thing I do with my bay leaf is I crack it just a little bit, not enough to break through the middle, but just enough to release the oils. And that's beautiful on its own. Okay, so presentation, like I said, really simple. A little bit of pepper, a little bit, well actually a lot of mustard, because I really think ground mustard and duck goes really well together. I love it. So I'm pretty heavy-handed when it comes to the mustard. By the way, I have 2 tablespoons of each seasoning. I do go heavy on the salt because it's duck. And salt and duck really does work well together. And then this is the oregano. And as you could also mix these spices. If you have an empty canister, you could put them all together and mix them and just sprinkle it on. It's a big time saver. But really, for me personally, I like layering my spices. I think there's something to be said about layering the spice as opposed to mixing the spice. But that's just me. Everybody has a different opinion. So then I just kind of snuggle that in there. I flip it around and I really just do the same thing. And this is just a taste. As you can see, like, even though I have 2 tablespoons measured out, I mean, it's really, everybody has a different palate. So it's really what you want to do. And obviously I'm not going to go through 2 tablespoons of pepper and salt for the duck, but for 1 piece of duck anyway, but I probably will for 4, and I'll probably end up grabbing more mustard too. So there's the salt, a good amount of salt, and then the oregano. Okay, so that's really it. That is how I season my duck, and I really pat it in there really well. Okay, and then a couple tricks for the bag. Fold it down, and you can also use the Ziploc submersion method, but for this, because it is a long sous vide, I like the bag, and I like a nice, good, tight vacuum seal. And a couple tricks that I do, and I know a lot of people don't really like the liquid smoke. I do. It's just a couple drops. I do a couple drops of liquid smoke, and I do a couple drops of sesame oil, because sesame oil and smoke goes really well. And then I just massage it in the bag. I'm going to take a little piece of thyme here. And bring it back over to this side. And then take a little bit there. It doesn't have to be perfect. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to go 150 degrees for 24 hours. I'm literally going to set it and forget it. And this fat will render down so beautifully. This will turn into a duck confit by simply pressing a button 24 hours later. And then we can either hit it under the broiler, or you can use a torch like a sous vide or something like that. We'll see what I'm in the mood for tomorrow when this is done. But it's super simple. And then the other thing you can do, another really fun tip and trick, if you tent rest your meat while you're waiting to eat, while you're prepping your other side dishes, etc., take a little bit of sesame oil, put a couple drops onto your tin foil, rub it off with a paper towel. You'll get the aroma of sesame oil without having to put a bunch of oil on your protein. So I'm gonna vacuum seal this. I'm gonna set my sous vide for 150 degrees. Timer's gonna be for 24 hours. And then you'll see what the journey looks like real soon. All right, so here we are. This is actually about 22 hours later. I wanted to show you one dried, and then one what it actually looks like. And you can see how beautiful that fat rendered down. And don't be mistaken. Yes, I did save some of this liquid gold for, I don't know, eggs, whatever. But more to come. So this is the one I wanted to show you. Also, this is out of the bag. It's dried. As we know, drying is a very, very big step when you're trying to get that sear after your sous vide. So we've dried this. I'm gonna brush it with maybe a little bit of sesame oil, maybe a little bacon fat, maybe a little of that duck liquid gold. I've already taken a little bit of sesame oil and wiped it down with a paper towel. We're gonna stick this in the broiler. We're gonna have a little fun today, duck 2 ways. We're gonna do the duck confit with a beautiful warm spring salad. And then we're also gonna do some mini appetizer duck quesadillas with a hoisin sour cream. It's gonna be great. So that's coming up. Okay, so while the duck is in the broiler, which won't take long, I'm putting together a super simple warm spring mix salad dressing from scratch. 6 ingredients, 7 if you count salt on the lettuce, but here we go. Super simple. In the bowl, mustard, honey, a little bit of soy, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of balsamic. And then we just drizzle in a little olive oil. I did rub the bowl a little bit with a garlic clove, just so I can get that flavor in the bowl. To be perfect. The trick actually to these French green salads is the soy. The soy, it just makes it. The soy, the honey, the Dijon, it makes it. You toss it right in. I like my salads to be a little warm. And as you can see, this is really simple because the duck is the star of the show, at least for this meal. And I like a simple French green, not a warm salad, but I don't like it too cold. I just like to wilt it down room temperature. And that's nice because then I don't have to have it at the perfect temperature. And then, so what I did also, this is a fun trick. I chopped some onion and some bacon. I set it right on top of my sous vide so it warmed while the sous vide was cooking for like, I don't know, the last hour or so. So got that in there. And then just pop a little avocado. I've already tic-tac-toed it, as I like to call, so it pops out perfectly. If you guys don't know the trick to the perfect avocado, just pop the seed, and if it's still nice and green when you pop it, your avocado is good to go. All right, so there you go. We're gonna be plating this right next to our confit, so that's coming up soon. Okay, I was getting ready to shred this, and I was gonna do this actually off demo, but I just need to show you guys the inside and how perfectly beautiful that duck just basically shreds itself. That's the power of sous vide. Okay, part one of duck 2 ways. So as you saw, I shredded the duck. I'm adding a little more of the bacon and red onion that I heated right over the sous vide while it was finishing. You know what? I like onion and bacon, so I'm just putting it all in. And then I'm gonna add a little cheese in it. I know a lot of people just go and put the cheese straight on top, but I find that this helps incorporate a little bit. These are little street-sized tacos, or tortillas, I guess I should say. And so I'm just going, and I'm not gonna overfill it too much. I'm just gonna put a little in there. It's finger food, right? Put a little cheese on top. I'm gonna fold this in half. I probably actually overstuffed this one, but I will make sure I don't overstuff the others. And then I'm gonna throw this. I actually have a cast iron that I have heating on low, just so it's warm and it's ready to go, so I'm not dealing with a cold pan. I'm gonna do 3 of these. I'm gonna grill them, dry grill them on both sides. I did brush it with a little bit of sesame oil because, again, sesame and duck, yum. And then I'll grill it on both sides, and we're gonna have duck 2 ways, and I'll show you the confit in just 1 second. Here we go. All right, and here we are with the grand finale. This had a little bit, you probably can't see it, but it had a little bit of sesame oil on it. So I like doing this to get the aroma of the oil, but not necessarily the grease. So here's your finished confit. You already saw how it's shred. I like doing a little bit of bacon confetti on top because who doesn't love bacon? A little bit of chive. Toasted sesame seeds, and you all want to do this obviously when it's hot so it sticks a little bit better. And then I like to hit it with a little extra salt at the end, because who doesn't love that? And then our simple greens, just simple, wilty, beautiful greens. I like a nice high salad for beautiful presentation. You could even put an egg on this, a sunny side up egg, make it your own, do whatever you like. But there's the duck confit. I don't know who wouldn't want that. And then here actually is the side, or the appetizer. This is super fun duck quesadilla, grilled. Little street size tacos, just flip in half. Beautiful melty cheese, red onion, bacon. This is a hoisin sour cream, which is super easy again. Sour cream with a little bit of hoisin mixed in. Goes great with the duck. A little bit of micro cilantro. These fun wasabi peas. And there you go. Duck 2 ways in the sous vide. Set it and forget it. Thank you again so much for letting me be a part of the summit and a part of your sous vide journey. And remember, precision is why it counts. Thanks, everyone.
Great stuff from Chef Stef. Thank you so much for putting that together. Duck Confit is amazing. I'm looking forward to uh, learn from her expertise a little bit more because she is here with us today. So we're going to bring her up on stage to use some questions about the demo, some clarifications. Please put them in the comments and we will make sure to put her through the ringer. How's it going, Chef?
Wonderful. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Summit Sunday.
We appreciate you coming on. That was a great demo. Duck confit is one of my favorite things. Uh, did you experiment with too many time and temperatures, or did you fall pretty quick into what you ended up on?
You know, I used to go, and I actually had done some research on some of my times. And I think really most of the information out there prompts you for 155. But I actually found that by the time you did a sear, whether it was broil or sous vide gun, that it actually dried it out a touch. So for consistently, I would say for quite a while, I've been doing the 150. And what I love about that temperature is it's very forgiving, and that it always, after like 18 to 20 hours, it'll always render the fat really beautifully. But you, like I said initially in the video, we're going to go 24 hours, but I was getting hungry. So I actually went 22 hours, and you saw the way it shred. So I think that 150 is that sweet spot to where it's forgiving, but still quite beautiful.
I've been cooking a lot of things that are more braised like at around 150 these days, just because staying below that 154, it's a lot juicier. It
Mhm.
retains a lot more moisture, and it still does break down that connective tissue. So I think that's a great point, and that you landed on that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Valerie wanted to know the D'Artagnan duck. Is that something you buy locally, or can you order that online?
You can order it online, and actually, if you go to my website, it's icancookthat.com. Make sure you put the .com in there. I actually have a link under Foodie Family for D'Artagnan, and you can use my link. And we're really good friends at D'Artagnan. I order a lot of stuff from them, and they're always running sales too. So if you're into duck, or if you're not into duck and you're into something else, you can also contact me, and I will actually be your culinary concierge and email you when specials come up. So yeah, excellent.
Yeah, D'Artagnan has a lot of great food. I've been using them for years. A lot for duck specifically. But
Hmm.
when I was in Connecticut, I couldn't find it in the grocery store. So D'Artagnan was my go-to source for a long time.
Yes.
So what inspired doing the duck confit quesadillas? I love that concept, and I know you're a big fan of like tacos and quesadillas and stuff. We've talked about this before, but where's the inspiration with the duck confit going into there?
I mean, who isn't, you know? I just wanted to, like, I think, first of all, with the panel that you all have had over the last few days, I mean, amazing, amazing things. And I mean, I got to come up with something, right? So I think everybody knows duck confit. One of the reasons I wanted to do the duck confit is because I don't know if people know really how simple it is. Like, it sounds so, elegant and gourmet. And while it is, it's really easy, as you can see. But as far as the quesadillas, I wanted to push my own culinary challenge line and take it up another notch and see what I could do while still staying true with something simple. And as you could see, it was just literally fold, grill, eat.
I feel like duck confit is one of those things that you can serve to your friends when they come over, and they're gonna be like, "I can't believe you just served us duck confit," and you're like, "Yeah, it's I've been slaving away in the kitchen for weeks to put this together for you." They don't need to know the truth.
Exactly. Or like if your partner's mad at you and you pull out the old duck confit the next day with an apology card, it's good.
Shauna says, "You are a rock star, Steph. What kind of liquid smoke did you use?"
I think that one, actually, I'll be honest with you. I probably just grabbed what was in there. I think that one was hickory because I don't like to overwhelm the duck. And the sesame oil though, that is key. Like that will just bring out the flavors. And if I just want to say for a second, all the comments, because I've been trying to keep up with them. Thank you all so much for everything that you've said in the comments. It's been really just made my morning. Really, really appreciate that you liked it.
We appreciate our very supportive audience, and we're glad that as presenters and organizers, we try to make sure that it's a very welcoming environment, and we're glad that our audience members pick up on that. And I mean, your presentation was amazing, so I'm glad that they they appreciate it. Otherwise, there's something wrong with them. It's great that
Aw,
it
thank you.
it's been such a good vibe this entire weekend of just people in the audience and participation, and it's great seeing us all come together and talk about what we love to do. What's a challenge you have coming up? What's next for you?
I don't know. I mean, I've been working with Spoon Radio for anyone that does podcasts or into streaming. Think of it as an interactive podcast. So I have a weekly radio show that I've been doing for Spoon Radio. It's really a lot of fun. I'm looking into doing some sous vide Zoom classes if anyone's interested in that. But really, the sky's the limit. I'm ready for more. What you got?
Nice. Well, we'll definitely send out stuff about your Zoom classes when they come up. That should be really cool. And Mike says he knows you've done a lot of sous vide and smoking. Have you ever tried doing duck on the smoker? Maybe cook it sous vide and then finish it off.
I haven't done the dual method, so I haven't smoked and then sous vide. But I will say I have smoked a whole duck
Mm.
on the smoker, and oh man, it was really nice. And I used I smoked it with just seasoning first, and then you've heard me talk about my Asian marinade that of course I use on everything, and so I use that as a base, and the soy with the duck gives it this beautiful color. But I am going to try both. Um, I actually have read Meathead's article, and he's actually a friend of mine. We've talked about this. So I am a really firm believer. I do a lot of smoking. I work with Pit Boss as well. I'm a firm believer in smoking that meat cold.
Mhm.
It always adds an hour on to my smoke time, but for me, it's just worth it. So I am going to try and smoke that duck and then sous vide it, and it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, one of the things whenever I smoke, and I know this is Darren Wilson's technique too, is we'll sous vide it ahead of time and then chill it down, and then you can
Yes.
reheat it on the smoker. So that way, it's still cold on the smoker, and it still picks up a lot of that smoke, like you're saying. It's a lot more effective when the meat's cold.
How long does it take you to chill it down?
Not too fast, but I usually only reheat on the smoker if I'm having people over. So I'll
Mhm.
usually cook a few days ahead of time, leave it in the bath, chill it in an ice bath, and put it in my fridge. And then when my friends who are never on time, when they finally show up, then I can put it on the on the smoker, and I know in an hour or two it'll be ready and hot enough to eat. And
Yeah,
that
that's
way I
a
don't
good
have to
idea.
monitor the temperature as much either because I know it's already cooked through. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, everyone wants to know how you get the smoke ring. Put it in cold.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. The video is great. Always like it. We might have to see you do a smoked and sous vide duck breast for our upcoming sous vide barbecue showcase.
You got
get
it.
it in there. I appreciate you always being involved and always sharing your expertise with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And thanks to the summit. Again, you guys always just knock it out of the park.
We appreciate that so much.
All
If you
right.
want more from Chef Steph, you can check her out at icancookthat.com. So make sure you check her out. She does amazing things there, and it's a lot of great meals that you can cook. Believe in yourself, get in the kitchen, and make some great food.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. So to keep giving her some love in the comments. I thought it was great. I always love seeing what she is up to.